Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report, live and presented by Kashiyama the Smart Tailor. Hook me up with this custom suit. You can get one of yours as well. Go ahead and call or text them at 214-448-9037. We're going to dive into today's show with rumors, beginning with the franchise tag. Is that coming for one Dak Prescott? I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I do think this is the likely outcome, but there are still several days left thanks to the NFL pushing that back for a second time, so it's not quite set in stone yet, but that is the expectation right now around the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to let Dak hit the open market. They just can't do that. If you do, you run an unnecessary risk of losing your franchise quarterback to a team like maybe the Colts, who would just throw money at Dak Prescott, which the Cowboys apparently aren't quite trying to do at this point. Now, the deadline to use the franchise tag is on Monday. It was originally supposed to be Tuesday, then today, Thursday, and now it's been pushed back to Monday instead. Now, we'll dive into which franchise tag they might use, but I do want to mention what the Cowboys are competing against in terms of the contract status. The Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz deals, those are the 3 apt comparisons for Dak Prescott. Russell Wilson makes $35 million a year. Jared Goff makes $33.5. Carson Wentz makes $32 flat. The guaranteed money is all above $107. So you can see how, and we'll dive into that $33.105 million offer because, like I told you guys, it wasn't right. But you can see how that offer wasn't really extended or wasn't accepted by Dak Prescott. Excuse me. Now, the franchise tag side of it, the report from the Dallas Morning News is the Cowboys will probably use the exclusive franchise tag on Dak Prescott as partially a sign of good faith negotiations. Hey, we're trying to get this deal done. We're not just trying to string you along and save money in the process. You can see the franchise tag amounts here. It's going to be about 31.6 this year. Next year, after a 120% increase, it becomes 37.9. Then it jumps way up to 144% based on last year's tag. Yeah, it's $55 million almost. So you can cross off 2020. Doesn't really matter. But that little merge there, you're looking just south of $35 million, about 34.5 or so. So let's try and recap then the alleged offers that have happened here. And I think we finally got the proper order based on this Dallas Morning News report from David Moore. Back in training camp, the offer was $30 million per year, $90 million guaranteed. Dak said no. In early September, and this was the number thrown out last week by a different Dallas Morning News beat writer, was $33.105. Like I told you, that wasn't right because it wasn't the offer presented more recently. We still don't know anything about what that offer actually looks like, aside from the fact that it's probably more than the $33.105. That number was rejected a long time ago because it was less than Jared Goff. Like, Dak's not going to take less than Goff. He's made that very clear, so maybe stop offering price tags that are less than Jared Goff. That doesn't really make any sense for the Dallas Cowboys. So what will they do with Dak? I'll make this the pinned comment of the video, so if you can hit with an ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down, cast your votes right there. Type T for tag, E for extend, or W if you just want to let him walk. Now, a very important element here for the Cowboys is you can't let Dak be the only thing going on. You have to also operate with other players and other deals. And there are other talks ongoing, 4 stars on this one from both Ed Warner and also that same Dallas Morning News report. We have known for at least a little bit now, especially if you guys watch the show like I know you all do religiously, the Cowboys have already had talks with Amari Cooper. You can also now throw in Randall Cobb, Robert Quinn among those involved. Not overly surprising based on the Cowboys' own public statements, but the Cowboys are also working to try and bring back those guys before free agency happens. Now, there is one very important thing that I'm going to continue to mention on the Dallas Cowboys. You can't let everybody hit free agency. That's a horrible idea. If the new CBA is agreed to, you have one franchise tag. You got to save that for Dak or Amari. Can't split it. You can't magically make another one appear. So if you're Dallas, get one of them done. Maybe that means a scenario where you end up overpaying a little bit on one to try and keep your leverage and ground with the other. That's okay. I would probably prefer to overpay the quarterback because it's the quarterback, but you can argue it either way. Now, you might let Cobb and Quinn at free agency. That's okay. It might happen. That is worth monitoring, and maybe if you can get one of those guys done before free agency, you feel a little bit better about where you sit. Now, there are some other notable free agents. Ed Warner said as many as 6 guys were having negotiations. We've mentioned the 4, of course, Dak, Cobb, Quinn, and Amari. I don't think Byron Jones would count among there. I could see Sean Lee being one of those players. Maybe you could throw Jason Witten in there technically, but I think he's going to at least test the open market and test free agency this offseason. Malik Collins is another option. Jeff Heath, Michael Bennett, and maybe some other smaller options that are more depth rotational pieces. But when it comes to free agents, those are some of the bigger names to watch out for. I got a deal for you guys available right now at chatsports.com/Cowboys hoodie. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys hoodie. You can save 25%. I love this full zip-up hoodie, by the way. That's included. There's supplies limited on that one, though. 25% off all types of Cowboys hoodies, even some St. Patrick's Day's theme. Some, even though I guess that is a little bit like the Eagles, but it's clearly St. Patrick's Day, guys. No one freak out. That link is in the comments and the description, so all you gotta do is click and go shop. Next up is Damon Harrison and signing him. Now, in reality, I should be giving this 2 stars. I really should be. It's not a done deal by any means. But you know what? I'm going to give it 3. I'm going to attempt, and I want everyone to help me out here. Let's speak this into existence. Let's get Damon Snacks Harrison to the Dallas Cowboys. You know why? Because he's a great player, fills a big-time need. I don't think he's going to be that expensive. So I want everyone watching right now, do me a favor, spam Snacks in the comments section, and that way you can tweet the video out and let Damon know you guys want him in Dallas. Now, as for the more serious side of it here for Damon Harrison, I mentioned the need, the fit. Look, the Cowboys have desperately needed a true run stopper like Snacks for a very long time now. You guys have watched the show for a while. You know how I feel about that position. Now, he was on Twitter and was like, someone asked him what do you think about joining the Cowboys. Like, well, I already live in Dallas. That doesn't really mean anything, but you better believe it is at least worth mentioning. My issue here and to why it might not happen is, look, price could be an issue. He's a good player. Other teams will want him. It is a good defensive tackle market in free agency. That might push him down in terms of his price tag. He did not have the same year in 2019. That's okay. Even in his, I pay close attention here, down season, Damon Harrison still put up a top 20 run-stopping year among defensive linemen. Even though he was banged up and got double-teamed, he's effective still at what he does. Yeah, I would love to bring him in, especially looking at this defensive line depth chart. We'll see what happens with Collins and Woods and all of that. They already decided they're not going to bring back Daniel Ross. You have one legitimate nose guard on this roster. That's Antoine Woods. I need more than that. So if I can get Damon Harrison, if I can get him at a reasonable price tag, I am absolutely in. I think that is a fantastic idea for the Dallas Cowboys. Now I need your help. All right, you guys already helped me out by spamming Snacks. I appreciate that. We are on the verge of hitting 50K subscribers here at the Cowboys Report. But I am now told I got to do that now or else by the bosses. All they've said is or else. They haven't given me any other details. It's just that, or else. So to be quite honest, I'm a little bit surprised or concerned. So if you can do me a favor, hit that big red button, subscribe. We'll do something fun once we hit there as well. Winston Chan says sub and bell. He gets it exactly there. So I don't want to face whatever this or else is. So help me out. Tell a friend and subscribe to the Cowboys Report. Next up, let's talk about Jimmy Graham. Do you not want him? Yeah, 4 stars. Don't want him. Pass. Hard pass. Here's why. Jimmy Graham is not the same Jimmy Graham you saw in New Orleans. Frankly, he's not even close to it. I don't like always saying this word. He's washed. He does not move the way he used to. The body is banged up. He's just not the same borderline Hall of Fame talent he was back in his prime. So my mindset is this. Why would I add another old and slow tight end? I'm not interested in doing that. Frankly, I'd rather give Blake Jarwin a better chance, and you can see the production. Yeah, the 2017 had a bunch of touchdowns. 2016 had more yards. 38 grabs for 447 and 3 TDs. Can't really blame it on the quarterback play either. He's just not the same guy he once was anymore. Now, if you bring him in for a vet min, okay, that's a different discussion, but If you're trying to sign Jimmy Graham to be a starter, oh boy, you're going to be real disappointed on that one. So pick a tight end for me. Blake Jarwin or Jimmy Graham. You can go J or G there. I'm going to go Jarwin. I say free him for a year. Focus on your other positions, and then if Jarwin's a bust or it doesn't quite work out the way you want this season, you can try again in 2021. I wouldn't mind bringing in another different veteran backup type, but has to be for the backup type. You're going to give him the second-round tender, try and extend him as well. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not having any interest whatsoever in adding Jimmy Graham. So another veteran who was recently cut is Reshad Jones, the safety from the Dolphins, who many have asked about trading for. I always said no because he was going to get cut. 2 stars on this one. I have some interest in it. I do. I also have some question marks around the entire thing. Now, Dolphins cut him yesterday on a Wednesday. Much like Jimmy Graham, although not quite to the same extreme, he's not the same player that he once was. It just has kind of taken a step back. That's okay. He's in his 30s now. That's the reality of life as an NFL football player. I do think, however, he could be a fantastic bridge option. I think Reshad Jones can still start for you for a year, maybe a year and a half or 2, as long as that price is right. Maybe he wants a prove-it deal. He hasn't played very much in recent years, at least not what he's used to playing in terms of injuries. But as a bridge, I'm intrigued by that one. Just, don't expect one of the highest, guy who was one of the highest paid safeties to be that guy anymore. That 2017-18 even season, not the same guy anymore. That contract, it was bloated. That's why no one wanted him. But you need safety help. So my mindset is, hey, if I can get Reshad Jones on the cheap, if I can bring him in, and I got Xavier Woods as one starter, Reshad Jones as the second one, and depth beyond that, potentially with a draft pick, I'm intrigued by that idea. But my main point is this. If you bring in Reshad Jones, that doesn't guarantee that your safety position is solved. And if you approach it that way, you might end up being a little bit disappointed. How about another safety here, one with ties to this current Cowboys staff? That is Jayron Kearse. I'll give this one 2 stars as well. I am intrigued by this one because Kearse, the comp thrown out by the Dallas Morning News was Shaq Barrett. And if you've been subscribed for over a year, you guys know how much I wanted Shaq Barrett. Now, it worked out fine because the Cowboys got Quinn, and that worked out really well for them. But this is another potential free agent sleeper. And former Vikings DC George Edwards, now on staff, so there is that connection there. Now, he's claimed, Kearse has, the Vikings don't want to bring him back. They're kind of tight on money. Kearse probably wants to be a starter somewhere, and maybe that could be if in Minnesota on a 1-year deal still potentially, but maybe not. Much like Jones in terms of expectation, you can't fully expect him to solve your safety issue immediately or forever. There is still some risk involved here. But as maybe more of a cheaper buy low, high upside candidate, I think Kearse actually makes some sense for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, some other free agents who were mentioned by Dallas Morning News with ties to Cowboys coaching staff members. David Onyemata out of the Saints, Mike Daniels with McCarthy, and then some special teams options. Greg Zuerlein and Marquis Christian. So special teams, as we've said before, is going to be a critical part of this Cowboys offseason. And frankly, it's very much long overdue on that one. Now, I'm going to let you guys in here on a little secret with YouTube, and just bear with me here. So, YouTube doesn't like us talking about that thing, the illness that got the NBA season suspended. Apparently, it's too sensitive of a topic, but we kind of need to talk about it here. So instead of talking about that thing, we're gonna call it Gobert instead. Rudy Gobert. You guys kind of get what we're talking about here. So instead of calling it the real name, we're going to call it Gobert so we can still talk about it for you guys here on the Cowboys Report and all of our other Chat Sports channels. Now, it is connected to Kenneth Murray, who has at least had a pre-schedule or a pre-draft visit set up with the Dallas Cowboys, which intrigues me on a variety of levels. A, we'll see if Gobert ends up canceling pre-draft visits and the Cowboys kind of pull everyone off the road from scouting and all of that. But spending one of your limited pre-draft visits on a linebacker is weird, especially an early round linebacker. I don't quite know what to make of this because the Cowboys have said, and they are telling you, me, everybody, that Jaylon Smith is fine. He's going to bounce back. He's going to be good to go. Leighton Vander Esch, his neck, nothing to be concerned about. Everything's fine. So the only ways in which drafting a linebacker early makes sense, in quotes, are these. If you plan to move Jaylon Smith to edge, don't know if that's going to happen. Does it make sense? Maybe. Are the Cowboys lying about Leighton Vander Esch's neck and they're actually freaked out about it and it's not going to be the same? I guess it's possible. Do you want to run a 3-3-5 base defense? Or are you looking to waste a pick on insurance? Here's my mindset, guys. Going linebacker in round 1, which is where you're going to have to take Kenneth Murray, is a bad idea. You can't keep throwing top 25 picks and money at the same position, especially when 2 of them are on the field the vast majority of the time. Like, best case scenario, right, is that if you take Kenneth Murray, Jalen's at linebacker back to his Pro Bowl form, LVE's fully healthy, now your first-round pick plays 25% of your snaps. That's bad. When you got literally bigger needs at every single spot on your defense. So I don't like the idea of going linebacker early if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, unless you're going to move Jaylon Smith's position, which I don't think is the best route, or unless you have been lying to everybody that you can talk to about Leighton Vander Esch's neck. That is a big deal, but that's the update when it comes to the draft and linebackers for the Cowboys. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.